So we just talked about crypto to challenge banks and to reduce the fees. Now we are doing it with instant payment today. And to just show you the new challenges that, the new challenges which are already there. So it's not about future, but it's about the fact. And I want to show you how these new experiences will come, especially when we put together open banking and instant payment. So we had two factors. And just to talk one short minute how the situation is in Luxembourg. So currently there are 6 PSPs on banks who are participating in the SEPA instant payment schema in Luxembourg. It's also considering that next year 3 additional retail banks will join the club of instant payment in Luxembourg, and they will cover approximately 92%. So next year will be the year of instant payment in Luxembourg, finally. We saw it now already. The attraction is quite amazing. If you do today a bank transfer from bill to Sparkasse, 5 seconds, it's done. It's quite an amazing thing. It's something that was not imaginable 10 years ago. And instant is the new normal. And you see, everything needs to become faster. Also, payments needs to become faster. So the whole Europe is working on it. And also in Luxembourg, there are already 3 large retail banks who have already put in place the instant payment schema, and 3 other will come next year. So the statistics are from the ABBL. So there's one part of the game. It's the instant payment. It's from the central banks. It's imposed in a certain way or motivated. It's no legal obligation. What's the problem? But more and more it becomes the new normal also in Luxembourg. So what about open banking? So in 2019 we said, now everything will change. PSD2 will disrupt everything. And finally it took 3 more years till the market was ready. I just put some statistics just to show a little bit where we are today. It's the first time that we show statistics in public. So today at LUXHUB we see over 2 million API calls per month. So, and it's an increase about more than 140% during the last 6 months. So it's really, we're scaling, we arrived on it. Why we have so much traffic right now is because banks are integrating and aggregating each self. So we can add the bill at the Sparkasse and you can add post to Raiffeisen. So that's really what which generates the main traffic today, knowing also that the account information flows are really more used than the payment flows right now, because banks have still something to do with their user experience during the SCA, the strong customer authentication, when initiating a payment. So also we have more than 30,000 people aggregating accounts through our platform in the last 6 months, and it's really growing more and more. Also in the next weeks, the different banks in Luxembourg will also give their customers the possibility to aggregate banking accounts of Belgium and France. So we go outside. So also we have Revolut in the circuit in Luxembourg, already quite used about it, and PayPal, which is quite a lot already aggregated at the different banks. So we have instant payment, we have open banking, and there are huge opportunities when combining both. And I want just to show you now 3 different use cases where it's already in production today. How open banking based on instant payment can be used in the economy, not in the banks. So at the merchant side, in your corporate, at the EMI. So really the real stuff of open payment, to get it out of the banks, the payments, and to get it out and to get access to the payment account information outside of the banks. So the first use case is e-commerce payments. So today you are used to pay with your credit card. You have a SEPA direct debit where you have a contractual relationship with the merchants. Now, based on instant payment and online banking, you are now able to pay just with your bank. You don't need to do any onboarding. You don't install any new software. You can just use it, and you even don't need to share any banking credentials with the merchant. All the security is the security of the bank used during a payment. So there are no more cards in the game. There are no contractual relationship with the bank because we are in the open banking scenario, PSD2, and you can just pay with your credit, with your account in all safety. You can trust your bank on this. You don't need to have a credit card, knowing that in Europe, only 50% of the population has a credit card. So there's a large-scale possibility, also for people who has no credit card right now, to participate in this e-commerce system. 50% of people cannot buy something today online. But most of the people have a banking account. So it's a huge enabler, especially during COVID time. It's a huge enabler where people want to buy something online. That's the first use case, which is quite huge. There are a lot of players in the market who are working on this. And the big advantage is it's now not limited to Luxembourgish bank, but you can also pay with Revolut. You can pay with number 26. You can pay with Credit Mutuel. You can pay with the Spanish bank. You can pay with the Bank in Malta. There's no limit about it. And you pay at your bank. And the integration of such a framework is quite easy. You just need to implement one API. It's only one API to integrate. And it gives you whole new possibilities to give you payments possibilities on your e-commerce site. Or send emails with possibility to pay at your bank in your colors. So if you have now a company and you want to send an invoice, send them an invoice in your colors and you can pay at your store. So that's really a huge stuff. It's fast, higher acceptance, because you don't need to share any credentials with nowhere. You pay at the bank. And yeah, it's cheaper because there's no banking card schema in it. There's not an additional player in it. You just pay from bank to bank, account to account payments. And that will be the new normal. And combined now with instant payment, there's also the payment guarantee, because the payment is instant. So the merchant gets the validation of each payment directly. So it's a huge competitor to credit cards and other payment schemes. And again, no relation with banks, not to share any information, banking information, with any merchant where you don't trust. And everyone who has no credit card can participate in it. That's the first case. It's quite huge. The second is e-wallet accounts top-ups. How I can get my money from my SEPA account at the bank into my e-wallet in a secure, fast way. It's the same. You just do an instant payment based on open banking, and you just, the money, when it's instant already, the money is available in 10 seconds. There are huge cases without any relationship with the bank. It's not about credit cards, that takes time, about fees for the merchant. For EMI, it's cheaper, and it's fast, and it's not limited to a certain number of banks. It's really open. So we will see really that open banking combined with instant payment is really a challenger for credit cards in a B2C scenario. And you really see, as I mentioned, when PSD2 was launched, you say, oh, yeah, it doesn't work, and oh la la, it doesn't work. But today, that are all use cases which are in production. It's working. It's working today. We are still fighting sometimes with the different banks about the user experience, about the SCA, which is mandatory for using doing the payment, but it's working and it will be optimized. We are in a daily process with all the banks to optimize it, also in the interest of the banks, because their customers want to use their accounts to pay and not the credit card anymore. It's really a huge challenge on this, and it's also scalability. If you have today an EMI and you integrate this one API in your solution, the whole country can participate together. They don't need to sign up anything. You, as merchant, you don't need to sign up anything with the bank. You just offer a solution to pay at the bank with the trust of the bank. And it's about this. We also, as LUXHUB, we are saying innovation imposes collaboration, and it's a perfect match. Yeah, it's really a huge change about it. And like I said, it's really in Europe the way to go, and it's only possible because of instant payment and open banking. So it's again this project. So yeah, it's also because it's instant payment. It's you have the confirmation, so it's the merchant knows it's paid, so I can deliver my services, and also you have the full user experience ownership of the solution because it's in your app. You can define it, just implementing one API. So till now, I just talked about a B2C scenario. But everyone takes, old economy, where we go to corporates, it's complicated. But we can also offer such a service in a B2B scenario. So that's the use case 3, and it's the first time we are talking about it in public today. Again, we created a possibility to integrate the initiation of the payment in your corporate software, in your ERP. So yeah, in your secure environment at your company, and you want to cash back a merchant for 10K, because the employee of the company is well identified in its secure framework, he clicks on pay, and the customer has 5 seconds later his money on account out of the software of the company without additional SCA Lux Trust in Luxembourg or other systems in other countries. So we created here a product helping banks not to add additional software in the company, not to use an additional software in the cloud, just to integrate through one API this flow to multiple banks in Luxembourg. And the whole SEPA universe is available. So you don't need now to, it's not that you cannot send money to Italy or Spain or Belgium or France for the cross borders. No, you can initiate payments to the whole SEPA system. So just to resume, in Luxembourg we are doing it together with 5 banks. And so one again, if you want to initiate instant payouts through multiple banks, you can implement it through one single API. It can be sent to the whole SEPA network, the payment. There's no additional authorization process required for each transaction. You can just integrate it in your software. Yes, when you have a travel agency and say, okay, let's cancel it. I sent you back your money. Click, and at customer side, bang, money arrived. What a huge user experience that it is. And that's really the future. We are all talking about user experience. We give you now, for corporates, the possibility to have a huge user experience, but doing the payment, it's the most lazy stuff that we don't care, in fact. It's just one click. And you don't need to have any file-based services or validation of file-based services for using this. And yeah, it's reducing of transaction fees and everything around necessary for file-based payments. And it's easy to maintain. Yeah, that's too commercial to maintain and to implement. And but it's really a solution helping companies to offer a huge user experience for payout payments, where the money goes out of the company. Yeah, so, and as I mentioned, we have these 5 the major players of Luxembourg joining this, has joined this initiative. And yes, I have 40 minutes left, but I think if there are any questions.
Congratulations, Jacques. Let's give Jacques a round of applause.